How's it going, everyone? My name is Graeme and welcome to Two Left Thumbs. Right off the bat, I'm not quitting. I don't want to be insensitive. With the crazy string of major retirements and channel shutdowns that have happened at the top of this year, it's worth just laying that out plainly right at the top of things. I do actually have some news that I would like to get out of the way first thing before moving into the sort of retrospective of 2023. I am going to be launching a Kickstarter campaign later this year. After a few years spent in the publishing space, I've had an itch to develop a game of my own again. Something I haven't done since the days of Flash development. And I'm dusting off an old project, Jack and Kill. It starts off as the usual nursery rhyme, but Jack accidentally kills Jill. The game plays from a top-down perspective, going around town, interacting with NPCs, but the gameplay is more this trial and error of trying to get away with murder, playing over and over, seeking out all the possible solutions and secrets, and slowly expanding the game so that the ways you hide the evidence become increasingly complex and more absurd. I'm going to be chipping away on that very slowly. I obviously have a lot else on the go, so that's not going to be a top priority. So the best thing I can do is set up this Kickstarter pre-launch page. That way you guys can go follow it immediately, and when the campaign goes live, I don't know, 6+ months from now, realistically probably like the fall or something, then you'll get an email notification the day of, and you won't miss out. So I'm really excited about that, but while I'm talking publishing, I want to include that all in one section here. I always knew game publishing was going to be my top priority in 2023, and I went more or less all in on that, as is evidenced by the not many uploads here. I don't think I ever quite found the balance I was looking for between publishing and YouTube, and I'm hoping to work on that more this year. I've learned a lot in a very short period of time, and I think I know where it makes sense to be spending that effort, and so I'll have some of that work smarter, not harder stuff I've been hearing so much about. Because so much was done with publishing in the last year, and there's so many plans for 2024, I will do a separate video for that over on the Two Left Thumbs publishing channel. It was a big year under the Two Left Thumbs label. I'm incredibly proud of all that. I'm very much looking forward to talking about it. That video will probably come in about a week's time because I'm going to tie that video to a very specific upcoming event. So, soon, not now. But Kickstarter pre-launch page, that is now. Links down below. Go do that. Go follow that before you forget, because I'm only going to bring it up again at the end of the video. I was looking through the previous videos like this I've done on this channel. The first one was like 8 minutes, the second one 35, the third one 46 or something. I don't know how I let them get so long. That was never the intention. I've always been a verbose person, but did I forget at some point how to trim things down? I'm going to be working on that in 2024. Videos will probably still lean long because that's just how I roll, but I'm going to try to really make sure it's focused and where every moment feels important. So how did 2023 go for me in, on, and around YouTube? Starting with this channel specifically here on Two Left Thumbs. I experienced some crazy rubber banding this year while trying to navigate this channel in particular. I started this as a 100% variety channel, so it had film and television, comic books, and everything all mixed in with the game stuff, and I had to separate that out. It was just not working. But one thing I hadn't anticipated is what a luxury that freedom was to just talk about whatever you wanted when you wanted, and whatever video is nearest to being done, you just pluck that one off the tree and wrap it up and upload it, you know? It was very simple that way. Well, suddenly now, if I want this channel to have consistent uploads, I have to make sure there's always fresh new game topics, which of course there are. There's so many, but I want to make sure I'm doing it in a way that's very uniquely my own, which means that my options become more limited, and now all of a sudden you only manage to upload 12 times in a year when you were targeting like 24. That's not at all a number I'm disappointed in. If this channel transitions to one video a month, that's totally fine, but I need to do that without the agonizing feeling of pulling teeth just to decide what video to make, and then all of a sudden you have less time than you were anticipating because you wasted a bunch of time planning, and now you gotta ram this thing out, and it's like a little bit of a frenzy and a rush, so then you delay it, and then it comes out weeks later than you were planning, and it's just not a sustainable, good way of managing it. It was easier when it was all on one channel, even if videos were doing poorly because of it. So a goal for 2024 is to be more fearless with the uploads. If I have an idea, just commit to it, see it through, tweak it along the way, and just feel confident and get it out there. My favorite videos to do on this channel have always been Flashlight. Those mean the world to me. It's such a delight to interact with these developers I grew up idolizing, often having the chance to interview them and dissect these questions that have been lingering for me for like decades. It's a really special thing, and I think I could confidently say I'm proud of every video in that series. But oh man, did I ever lose my footing when the Madness video underperformed. Way back when, years earlier, I made like a 9-minute Madness video 2 days before Madness Day, and I just was like, Madness is great, we all love it, and it got like 60,000 views in a week or something, and then very shortly after, I think, is when I transitioned to this new channel, so I unlisted that, and I always had the goal of remaking it, but with an interview with Crinkles, and with Cheshire, and like with Swaim, and all these different things, and pull all that together. It ended up being like a feature-length film of a video, and it did significantly more poorly than the one that I did in like 2 days. So it kind of shattered me. I'm not sure if people understand how long it takes to make a researched, edited, composed 2-hour video. Even though I contracted out the final edit of it, it's still so much work. So yeah, that was pretty demoralizing, and I just lost my footing after that. Every video decision I made after was like, was it going to be worth the trade-off of the time to the revenue earned? And just so many different considerations that I hadn't really been worrying about before. Luckily, over time, that video has recovered and come back around. Not as high as I was hoping, but I'm pretty pleased with where it's at now. Obviously, this opens up the question, where is the Madness video part 2? The thing I teased at the end of the original video that addresses all of the fan content surrounding the Madness universe and series. That's still happening. At no point have I ever entertained the possibility of abandoning that video. But every time I told myself, here's when it's happening. I'm going to rally, I'm going to get this thing together, I'm going to polish it up and ship it. Then things just fizzled out. It didn't take much because my confidence was so shaken that I would pick things up, try, make a very minimal amount of progress, and then just spiral out again. But so many of the pieces are in place. I did interviews with a bunch of fan creators and with Crinkles again about the fan community, and there's all the things there that just need to be assembled and organized, but I want to do it justice and I want to do it right. But I'm just going to chip away at that slowly. Who knows? Maybe it's going to have to wait till Madness Day 2024 in September. I don't know. I don't want to make promises because I don't know how that's going to go. But I guarantee that video will happen. I refuse to not let it happen. And I can say that now with the level of confidence I was so recently lacking, because I think the last 3 months I kind of dialed things back in, and I'm once again finally happy with where this channel's at. Viewership is atrocious. Views have almost never been worse, I don't think. But in terms of like the creative juices and the end quality of the videos I'm putting out and stuff, very happy. That's going great. You can't go from weekly uploads on YouTube to just scattershotting things and have the algorithm be okay with that. There are people out there who upload like 3 times a year, and there are people like waiting for that. And that's never the type of channel I've been. So when you upload very sporadically, yeah, you kind of pay the price for that a little bit, and I'm trying to put that out of mind and trying to focus instead on, okay, what videos do I want to make? What stories do I want to be sharing? So at the end of the year there, I tackled the 2 major Undertale Deltarune videos that have been rattling around in my brain for like over a year, possibly years. I forget the scale of that already. But a lot of work had been done on those, and so I polished up the scripts, handed it off to Fruz for the final edit. Very grateful for the work that they did there. And so finally those 2 prediction analysis videos exist on the channel, and that was a nice kind of return to form. I feel really good about that. I tackled 2 Flashlight videos in a very short period of time, dusting off and remaking the Super Crazy Guitar Maniac Deluxe video, and making a brand new William and Sly video. So having both of those together in short order, they kind of comically came out to be about the same length, which was very unintentional and unexpected, but I'm very happy with the end result of both of those. I think they tell interesting, engaging stories while informing a lot about the games and their creators. So that was very recharging. I had set that series aside because viewership was down, that Madness video went poorly, and I feel back. And finally, I also did a review for Jackbox 10. It's a little bit disappointing that in that game itself, I just don't think it was as good as many others in the series have been, especially in recent history. But I'm proud of that video. I think I made my points clearly and more succinctly than I had in the year or two previously, and that was yet again encouraging that, okay, I can make my point in fewer words, and I'm going to work on that. For each of those uploads, it was clear to me what video I wanted to do next. I just dove into them, I put the work in, got it done, didn't question myself or second guess things along the way, and that lack of overthinking just resulted in greater production than I've had in the rest of the year prior, you know, so I want to carry that energy through to 2024. So now I've given myself like a bit of a vacation, but I want to stay at it while I feel like I'm in a little bit of a groove here, or rediscovering the groove at least. So I'm going to come in hot. I have quite a few video ideas in mind. I'm just going to start grabbing them up and firing them off. I think in the first couple months here of 2024, you can expect a higher density of uploads than I've had in the year prior. But that is literally me just trying things, trying a range of ideas, old and new, long and short. I just want to be making videos again, and I just want to get that all out there. As fun and interesting and rewarding as it is doing all the publishing stuff, it does mean I'm over there fanning other people's flames and not my own, you know? So I want to be creating again, so I'm gonna make room. So moving on to talking about Two Left Frames, and there's a decent chance here this is the first time some of you have ever heard that before. That was the channel that I created when I spun off the film and TV stuff off of this channel. I still am not especially happy with the branding on that. I kind of threw that together like the day of making the decision and I've never updated it since. So it's the channel icon and branding and banner and things are pretty slapdash, even though I love the thumbnails on that channel. I think it's like notably more attractive to look at than over here, which is something else I should probably work on. I really like how the thumbnail style has come together over there. So many thanks to Hot Cider, who has done probably 3/4 of those thumbnails, and I've tried to do the rest myself. I spun that channel off in late 2022, and I still haven't finished moving videos over to that channel, because I refuse to just take 4-year-old videos, pluck it off of one channel and move it over. I've learned a lot about scripting, about pacing, about editing, about storytelling, as well as most of those topics evolving and changing over time. Or just mentions of me saying like, this movie released 5 years ago, and it's like, well, now it released 10 years ago. Little things like that. I refuse to let those videos just slide over as they were. 1 or 2, it's worked out okay. But for basically every single one, I've cracked it back open and re-edited, restructured those videos. Some have been more heavily edited than others, but that has ended up being such a process, and I'm happy to have taken my time with it, because now I know that the best possible versions of these videos are moving over, and if people watch them, and a lot of times I'll get comments being like, is this a re-upload? I swear I've seen this before. Yeah, you have, kind of. Because I'm updating them, there's a chance that you could re-watch a video and not immediately recognize it's the same. Because a really common thing I do is remake the first couple minutes, because those are the most important and where I used to struggle the most. So people will very commonly find those videos not realizing they've seen them before. And that's a point of pride for me, because that means it felt new or fresh for them on some level. And along with those re-uploads, I have been making entirely fresh from scratch new videos over there. And for a lot of last year, I think my interest and my focus in the YouTube space was on that channel, because I wanted to move over as many of those videos as possible. A few of them are about subjects that I feel their relevancy is disappearing, or that's kind of the main concern, is that someone else will get to the topic before me, or that things will play out in a trajectory where my sort of pop culture envisioning of things doesn't map out as I expected. So I want those videos in place while it still makes sense, so I need to focus on that a little bit. I can pump the brakes there, but I think it was 14 videos on Two Left Frames last year, and it was precisely 50-50 of those re-edited re-uploads and entirely new videos. And so while not doing that intentionally, I'm very happy with that breakdown. Which then I take a step back and I look at Two Left Thumbs, Two Left Frames and realize that's 26 videos, which means across the two channels, not consistently, not spaced out the way I would want at all, I did actually do one video for every other week. 52 weeks in a year, 26 videos, that is exactly half. Didn't do that intentionally. Pretty proud of it. I think at one point I thought that I would be alternating uploads, like 1 on 2 left thumbs, 2 left frames, 2 left thumbs, 2 left frames, weekly. And so there would be 26 on each channel. I see now that's impossible. That's never happening. If I were to shut down all the publishing stuff tomorrow, I still don't know if with the new standard I have for these videos, I don't know if I could achieve that. Viewership on that channel, relatively low, but it continues to climb. New subscribers are coming in, and it just means so much to me that I get to see what I wanted that channel to be play out. People will watch a specific video, and if they liked it, they are much more likely to end up on other videos in a way that wasn't happening when film, TV, games, and comics and everything all existed on one channel. Now I can see in real time, someone comments on a video, and then an hour later comments on another video, and it's like, oh, awesome, they actually felt compelled to go from one to the next, and that's what I always wanted. So I don't care if the views are low. I just want people to be finding the types of videos they want to see and to be cultivating the relevant audiences, and that seems to be happening. So viewership be damned there. It's what I wanted, and it's working out. I believe the highest performing video I had all year was my fan cast for James Gunn's rebooted DC universe. So I was right at the start of the year, and it got about 60,000 views, which is pretty good. And I can attribute that almost entirely to right up at the top of the video, me saying Henry Cavill instead of Henry Cavill. And everyone had to jump on correcting that pronunciation. And so thank you all, I guess, because I think it's like the only reason that video did well. But generally, I do think the feedback on the channel has been good. I think a lot of people have said, I really enjoy your casting choices or your analysis of this movie or what have you. I didn't go to film school or anything, so I'm lacking a lot of the vocabulary and the precise knowledge of how these things come together. But I'm kind of like a student of bonus features on DVDs and now YouTube. And so I think I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. And it's a little bit validating, but mostly just fun to have people enjoy what I have to say about these movies and things, because I like talking about them. I'm thrilled that that channel's having a bit of a growing interest in my comic book movies through the combination of the large, lengthy video analysis on the actual movies and the sort of fan castings and things I'm doing. So I want to continue to cultivate that, because I can envision myself making dozens more videos of either of those two styles. And so I want to be pushing that. I put together kind of an upload schedule for myself that I'm thinking now is maybe a little too ambitious. But I originally wanted to be done reviewing the entire Marvel Infinity Saga by the end of 2023. When I was first doing those videos on this channel, I had mapped out a schedule. And based on the way I was grouping together videos, like, here are the 3 Captain Americas, and then the 1 Doctor Strange, and then the 2 Guardians of the Galaxy. And, it's the videos would be split kind of strangely that way. But by the end of last year, I was supposed to be done the Infinity Saga. And now instead, I have not even caught up to the end of Phase 2, because I'm still doing re-uploads, let alone the new videos. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to look. I don't want that channel to become all comic book movies, which is the only way I think I would ever actually catch up in a reasonable amount of time. I insist on there being a little bit more variety than that, so people know I have more interests than just that. But it's coming along, and I still want to do that as a long-term project. I no longer have a timeline for it, really. Last year, I also had my greatest YouTube copyright frustrations I've ever experienced. It almost never happens over on this channel, because video games are chill for the most part. So now and again, you'll have a song in the soundtrack that gets flagged or something, and you got to deal with that. But with movies and television, if you include longer than like an 8-second clip, you will get copyright flagged. Sometimes it can be shorter than that. Then you usually have to go through a dispute. If they fight you on the dispute, you have to do an appeal. And then sometimes the appeal doesn't even resolve things. I have had to do that many, many times. Majority of the videos on that channel, it's a nightmare, because it means it's so hard to maintain a schedule, because you're constantly fighting copyright. They're delaying videos. Honestly, any channel out there that does movies and television exclusively and actually does it in a way where they're relying on that income, I salute you, because it is the most frustrating thing I've ever experienced on YouTube. Right at the end of the year for Halloween, I did a video on the Cube trilogy. I had a lot of fun with that video. I was really excited about it. I dealt with some copyright stuff to get that out on time. And then a fraudulent company slipped in, laid some fake copyright claims against it, fought every dispute and appeal I made. I escalated things to YouTube. They didn't do anything. I had to go to a lawyer, someone who actually specializes in this. They exist online. It's not like I went to a law office, but this guy very specifically deals with this stuff. And for like $30, he will escalate to the next stage, which is being like, all right, take me to court then, which is scary. I've never had to do that before. But, you know, this was not a real company. They were called like Copyright or something like that. Like it's not Lionsgate or whoever actually owns the films. So yeah, dealing with that sucked. And it really, as if I hadn't already empathized with people dealing with that sort of stuff on YouTube, it was really eye-opening for me. And could be a long-term problem, because that video went up and down multiple times while fighting that sort of stuff, and I'm surprised it actually performed quite well in spite of that. But now I'm gonna have to be so mindful of it, because I can't risk going through videos being uploaded and taken down numerous times in their lifespan like that on a regular. It's too chaotic. So there's going to be some figuring out to do over there, but I've never stopped loving movies and television, and I plan to continue talking about them. So there'll be more of that coming. Is it apparent that I'm like not quite fully back with it again? I mean, I don't feel as sharp as I sometimes do. And my other main channel here on YouTube, I probably have too many, is Graeme Games. And that is where I go to play Let's Plays. That is where it all started. Originally, Two Left Thumbs was this other channel, not the one you're on now. It was Graeme Games. That was called Two Left Thumbs, and it was entirely a Let's Play channel. And now things have all changed and shifted around. That channel continues to live. I continue to upload there, and I plan to continue doing so this year. When 2023 started, I was already partway through my Shadows Over Loathing playthrough, and I wanted to keep up with that. So I saw that through 79 uploads. It's 46 hours total. So if you're looking for something to binge, that's a great place to start. I rode that high, tackling a big series and another game that had come out at the same time that I knew I had to wait. I couldn't do both at once. Fear and Hunger 2 Termina. I really enjoyed the first game. I never went as deep on it as a lot of people did. It's been really, really fun to watch that series just go viral in 2023. All my old videos got all this interest, so it was like really exciting to pick up the sequel and get back into that community. That game is so hard and frustrating, and when you're tired and busy and you have other things you need to be doing, and that game is so stingy with saves that you have to play it in like these 3-hour-long sittings, I don't always have time for that. I usually tackle Let's Plays like an hour at a time, wherever I can slide it in my schedule, and that works out pretty well for me. Trying to maintain a schedule for a series that play sessions are notably longer and the game is so draining, it's been a challenge. Then I end up in a cycle of some degree of guilt because I'm uploading things other than Fear and Hunger Termina when there are people actively waiting for that series to be completed. That creates a bunch of negativity, and next thing you know, you're just not uploading consistently and it all kind of falls apart. And one thing I've found over years of doing Let's Plays is it's momentum based. If you are uploading daily and commit to that, maybe you miss the odd day. If you start taking 4 or 5 days off, it can turn into a month, just like that. That's a poor snap. But it can get away from you really, really quickly. And so while struggling with that series, I lost control of that channel numerous times, lost control of the upload schedule at least. I insist on finishing that playthrough. I probably am not going to do multiple playthroughs. That'll be my singular attempt at finishing that game. Some people have disagreed with the ways I've made use of saves, or that I haven't like just restarted when things go poorly. Nah, I'm into it. I'm proud of the game I'm playing there. It's just been a challenge. And once that's done, I'm taking a break from like long-running series like that. 79 videos, Shadow Over Loathing. It took me like 6 months to get to this point of Fear and Hunger. I'm going to focus on one-offs for the foreseeable future there. I just miss playing as many new indies as possible. It was such a cool opportunity to keep track of the new games coming out, to see what interests me, to further refine what I look for in a game. That created some really useful free ways for me for the publishing stuff. It was such a good reason to be paying attention to the indie game scene, which I still have to do and I still try to do, but it doesn't feel the same when I'm not getting hands-on with things and playing them and sharing them, which is another just general mandate of that channel. I want to be playing them, but I also want you to be aware of them, to pick them up for yourself if it looks like something that would interest you. And so I still really, really want to maintain that. I'm taking a break. I'm potentially the rest of the month. I haven't figured that out yet. But when I do come back, then I'm going to try daily uploads on that channel. And I'm hoping I can maintain that more or less for majority of the year. I've long since gotten over stressing about missing uploads on any of these channels, because YouTube's just kind of in a weird place for me. Like I said at the top, I'm far from quitting. I'm not quitting, but I got other things, you know? So I gotta be splitting my attention. But I would really, really love for 2024 to have more of a YouTube focus than 2023 did. And I feel inspired and I feel encouraged and confident that I can make some videos that feel worth your time and that can, I don't know, I'm excited for it. I've gone off script at this point, so I'm getting shaky here. But I think it'll be a good time. And I thank you all so much for following along with all of it, all the ups and downs, all the changes. I ping pong these channels around between, you know, I'm really figuring a lot out live in front of you all. I imagine that's apparent at this point. So thank you everyone old and new for checking all this out. I hope I can surprise and entertain in the remainder of the year here. Thank you all so much for watching. My reminder to go follow that Jack and Kill Kickstarter page. Maybe you go subscribe to the publishing channel. You can see my kind of Two Left Thumbs Direct 2023 retrospective publishing anniversary video. I don't even know what angle I'm going to go for with that yet, because it kind of is all of those things. I look so pale. I am pale. I look so pale, though. It's extra looking at this for the first time in like 30 minutes. Ugh. It's like -40 out. I'm not going outside. I'll just be pale. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season, and I hope to see you all again soon.